and I will let you know when I'm at at your door. And as long as I have consent to open your door, we'll get started. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay. And I also have my crystal bowl here with water in it because I do scrying instead of cards or anything like that. Just helps with the flow. All right. So I'm just reaching out to Archangel Metatron right now, and he's helping me find your door. Um, okay. So I found your door, and before I open it, I want to let you know what your door looks like to me. What I'm seeing is kind of like a chessboard. So, and not necessarily that you play chess, but there's this sense of strategy constantly going on, and that's been your soul is already like that's part of the blueprint of your soul is strategizing through life. You know, you're like, you're a planner. Not everyone's a planner, but you are, and you've always been. And that's part of your soul's purpose, just in general, because we have life purposes, right? But then our soul actually has specific blueprint stuff going on. And one of your blueprints is being strategic and planning so that you can help other people learn how to do that in a tangible way where they don't get confused. You're just like, okay, A, B, C, and under A, you do these steps. And they're like, oh my God, it's so much easier. So you're nodding your head. So that means you completely resonate with that. And we haven't even opened the door yet. Okay, so I'm having Archangel Metatron open the door for us, and when we're all done, he helps me close the door behind us, as well as seal the door so that the energies, nothing goes in, nothing comes out, and everything stays in its stable form. Um, this is my dragon coming through right now. It looked like she blew out a bunch of pink smoke and it turned into a little cloud that I'm sitting on and just kind of floating around. It's super cute, super playful. Um, and she's just kind of flying next to me, going, "Do you see that? Do you see that? That's a great scenic thing. We'll visit another time." But for right now, we are starting over here, and it looks like this is off planet. This is not Earth. I can tell it looks like a skyscraper, but nothing that humans have ever built. Um, and on the top, what I'm seeing is this like um, garden. So it's like you had within that lifetime, you had learned how to help people sustain sustenance so that the whole population can survive because they built too much and all that's around is concrete and no one can survive on concrete, right? And so I'm seeing like you really found a way to, on top of every building, have some form of garden so that it's not oxygen on that planet. It's a different thing, but the plants do the same thing as they would here. And I'm asking why they're bringing this up. Um, I'm hearing that you are one of your missions on Earth is to plant seeds that will come into fruition in the far future. It's not something that any of us will see the fruition of right now. And okay, because there's a lot of light workers out there that are meant to plant certain forms of seeds. And it seems like you already know what I'm talking about here. And so these little seeds that you have been planting, um, with your intentions that you put out during your healing services, is also nourishing these seeds, watering them, giving them all the nutrients they need. And it's super purposeful. So during your Reiki sessions or your healing sessions, there's always some form of intention, right? And it's generally for the client, or you communicate ways to have a mutual intention. And um, the beautiful thing about that is because you've already planted these seeds, and with your own energy, you're nourishing it. But also the intention of your client is helping as well, because it takes multiple individuals to help the earth ascend. Um, and so that's a really beautiful mission that I just want to, before I go on, just want to say thank you. That's it's like I'm almost crying a little bit. um, because that's what we need. We need more healers, planting those seeds, helping people one person at a time. Because as one person heals, then we get to that pinnacle, that at the top there in the future, where finally society changes because more enough people have healed. Kind of like they were talking about herd immunity during the pandemic. It's similar to that, but it takes longer. But that's better because then that means it's sustainable. And you are part of that sustainable aspect for the future human race, because we'll be around a lot longer than some people are. They're doom saying, oh my God, the human race is ending. No, we got time. We got plenty of time. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I feel myself like wanting to speed up, but I'm like, slow it down, slow it down. And that's that fiery energy. And so with the lower world spirit coming in, reminding me to temper it down. All right, I'm seeing where else we're going. I feel like just smiling a lot here. There's a lot of happiness in this soul of yours. There's no matter what the challenges have been, your soul has purposely made it so that you can find the silver lining, and you just follow that string until you find the smiles again, and find the solutions to whatever challenges you're going through, whether it's life challenges, career, interpersonal challenges, or even that introspective challenges we have. Because I feel like you've kind of gone through some dark times. Like you've had at least one dark night of the soul. And that's appropriate for healers. Because if we don't go through that, then how are we supposed to help someone else move through it, right? Um, and so I'm actually being brought to kind of like a dark corner in the side, not a blackout, anything like that, but definitely something on the dark end, but not having me go inside. So they're saying that you've already, when I say they, I'm talking about your soul and your higher self. Um, they're saying that we don't need to go in because you've already healed it, but wants me to walk around it. There's like this golden ring that you had built around this darkness, to protect yourself from ever having to step back into it. Um, and they're having me touch this golden ring, almost kind of like a healing. There's a little bit of healing around that. That's fascinating. Um, So what I'm hearing is that touching this ring and sending some prayers and healing energy to it is solidifying that you will never in any other lifetime have to repeat that lesson. So they're also saying congratulations on fulfilling karmic debts you've had over many lifetimes. So they are just over the top that you did it and you survived too. Not everyone survives and moves past it, and you found your way out. So, congratulations there. Um, and so I am turning around, just doing an about face. And what I'm seeing is like just kind of everything. But what's in front of me is this huge, beautiful meadow that's surrounded by trees, by nature, and on the outside of that is more the buildings I was talking about or other aspects of your soul. Um, I find myself getting a little choked up here. There's a lot of emotion coming through on this reading. A lot, um, like you said before I hit record, tons of energy, tons of energy. As I'm walking through this, it's like I'm just feeling the wildflowers, feeling the air, listening to the birds. So this connection with nature that you try to keep fostering for yourself, um, is why you are missioned to plant those seeds, because throughout every lifetime, it's always been about connecting to nature and planting seeds. So you have a very um, not only fairy energy to you, but almost like elven and mermaid. So I don't mention those much, but you do have those energies around you, and that's because of your connection to nature. Um, And they want to remind you that when you are connecting to nature, to actually ask questions to plants, to speak to them, to take a moment to remember that all plants, all beings have a consciousness. So, even your house plants, take a moment to kind of touch them or touch the soil. You do good,
Yeah.
good. And then when you're outside, just say hi to them or go and commune with any tree that seems to be beckoning you, because energetically they do. And so when you're having any challenges or even yes or no questions, stuff like that, go ask the plants because they have some answers for you. Um, or summertime, lay down in the grass and commune with the soil and the grass you're touching. Um, there's a lot of information that they are wanting to give you, um, and your soul is like, yes, 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 let's do it. We have information, they have information, let's talk. Um, there's a very much of a kind of like a celebratory energy around it. So give me a second while I experiencing them celebrating. And when I'm saying them, it's not just your higher self and soul. This is your dragons, this is the mermaids, this is the elves, this is the fairies. I'm even seeing Archangel Michael, Uriel, and it's Ezekiel, um, Ezreal. Sorry, they're all there as well. It's almost like the archangels have set up a stage and got a band going, and they're just rocking out. So obviously music is an important part of your life too, especially anything that makes you happy and bounce around. Um, so it's very celebratory. I really love this energy coming through. I can't help but smile. It just makes me so happy. Um, so yeah, like I was saying earlier about the following that string till you find the
Yes.
happiness. If you ever find yourself in a moment where you feel super challenged and you can't find the silver lining, just remember you have this meadow where everyone's celebrating, and just kind of mentally take yourself to that place and allow the happiness to just fill you up. And so that when you step back into the challenge, then you can find that silver lining and just follow the string to the next stage. Um, and so that's why they're showing me that a lot of times, or actually appropriately, when I go to place, it's easy to circle back because your soul is very circular, right? We're all in a sphere. We don't want to have corners, not at all. We want to have that flow of a sphere. Um, and I almost want to make a sphere this whole time. Um, and and that's really apparently important for you to know about the concept of the sphere so that you can teach others. That whenever they feel like they're backed into a corner, they're actually
Uh-huh.
not. They're not backed into a corner. All they're doing is just turning around and facing a piece of their story. And once they, move through that piece of the story, realize there's so much more going around them. The bigger picture comes in, and that, how to help people have that perception shift.
Mhm.
And so remembering the concept of the sphere um, might help when you are teaching or helping others so that it's there's a sense of hope in that versus a sense of hopelessness.
Yeah, I'm getting a sense too because of that idea of we're put in boxes.
Yeah.
We're labeled and we're put in these boxes, and it feels sometimes like we're cornered. So what if we can take the box we feel like we're in and just smooth it over? And, what if we can turn the box into a sphere? What would
Uh-huh.
happen to that feeling? There won't be corners anymore to be. There's
Exactly.
like more of a flow that.
A flow, if you feel like you're um put in a condensed state, you're in a snow globe. And
Mhm,
who doesn't like snow globes? You know? And and when you're ready to step out, it's not like you're in a glass container. You can just walk through. It's all good. Um, yeah, that's a beautiful message, and that's I think if you don't mind, I might carry that message forward with my clients too.
of
Um,
course.
yeah, because that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to remind people of, and just spreading the word in that way, just helping humanity in general. And like I mentioned earlier, the planting the seeds is a part of helping humanity, not only on the individual level now, but later on in the greater future. So I'm thinking, what I'm hearing is 200 to 300 years from now, all those seeds will be in full bloom. So within the next 100 years, they'll finally sprout, but the full bloom takes a little while longer um, because humanity has a lot of growth to do.
Hmm.
The collective has got a lot to do. It's almost like we're in this spiritual war right now. So I'm not sure if you've been feeling the psychic attacks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot. I've been experiencing it a lot too. And that's um I think that's another time where you can go visit this field, just this green, beautiful place with the celebratory energy, because there's a lot of love, there's a
Yeah.
lot of joy, compassion with each other. And so when we have these psychic attacks and we say return to sender, but it's like return to sender with compassion and love. And
Hmm.
when we do that, they don't want to come back because they don't like that feeling. It's like it's icky to them for some reason. Um, and and that's of course their issue that they will have to work through on their own. Um, but for our own self-preservation, it's always with compassion and love. All right. They're walking me through the field now and having me kind of step onto this one path. What I'm seeing here is you have like multiple paths.
That's what messes me up.
Yeah.
I don't know which one to take, and I ask for the one with the most ease or the one with
Uh-huh.
the most joy.
That's
But
that's
sometimes that doesn't match the soul lesson, right? So,
right, right. But the thing is they want to remind you that even the most easiest path are going to have stones in it.
yeah.
And they also want to remind you that you actually don't have to pick a path. You're already on the right path. All these other paths lead to different timelines, different dimensions, and different lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, whenever you're in that field and you see all these paths everywhere, and you're like, which one do I go?
Right.
Always look for the sign that says Earth.
Okay.
So they're like, we're going to make it as obvious as possible for you. And that's part of the ease. It's like if they label things for you, coming back to that strategy and planning, um, when they label things for you, you aren't going to get lost when you come back out of your of the field when you're taking some time to yourself. We can call that field um, your power place. So remember that is a place where you can recharge your
Mm.
power, reclaim power pieces. So if you ever have a soul retrieval, um, that will be the place where your higher self and your soul want you to sit while the soul pieces come back to you, because that's where you're going to recharge. But moving back to the path, um, there's a lot of shadow through this path, but it's not shadow like condensed shadow. It's more like the trees have this canopy over you. So some of these aspects of shadow is very purposeful and a reminder that you are incredibly protected. So during any of these challenges or psychic attacks and you forget to go
Yeah.
to that power place, they want you to know you're protected anyway. And there'll be signs, little things like, you get like this thought of, oh my God, I have to go do this. If I don't do this, things aren't going to work out. And you
Mm-hmm.
go do it and you're blocked anyway. That is part of your protection. That your spirit team is saying that that's no, no, no. That's a no, no. Do not
Wow.
try to open that door. And
Really?
yeah. So, and you already know what I'm talking about. You're like, I've
I
experienced that.
I do just in the last couple of weeks, and it's been frustrating because I thought that's what I was where I was supposed to go. And nope, nope, every door closed
Uh-huh.
around that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Huh.
that's what they're doing. And your soul is kind of directing that, like, hey, don't forget, guys, we need this. Don't forget, we're doing this instead of that. So, whenever she feels a little panicky or frustrated, um, even though it may frustrate you more that these doors are closing, um, it's such a good thing. Just the sense of an about face is
Yeah,
all you need.
because so I must have in the last few months changed timelines because several readings I had probably back in the fall, reader, Akashic reader, different people who didn't even know each other were giving me the same information because I've always been a teacher. Oh, it's time to get back to the kids. It's time to get back to helping the parents, the kids, the kids, the kids. And I started to do that a month or two ago, following that, and all the doors just keep slamming. No, no,
Mhm.
no. So at some point, did they pivot me?
Um, I'm hearing a yes. We all healers on earth at this point have gone through a timeline shift,
Okay.
and that's very purposeful. And that doesn't mean our purpose has changed. It's just the way it looks has changed.
Yeah, I mean, going from kids to, seniors. And I was writing down the other day at work. I'm there 3 days a week, and I was writing down the comparison between that population with the seniors. And there's so many similarities.
Hmm.
And okay, this is the population I'm being asked to help right now.
Hmm.
It was interesting as I was journaling.
Yeah. Um,
Huh.
Very true. Yeah, that's that timeline shift, and possibly what they're picking up on that kid energy was actually the energy of the older population because, we go through cycles as adults, and as we get older, there is a sense of childness that and they need extra nurturing,
And
right?
I felt too that I'm here to help those who don't have a voice. And so it was the kids and the animals. And now I'm seeing seniors have lost their voice. Like they have their kids or their relatives or their spouses talking for them now because they look at them as broken and old um, and so we've, in our culture, we disregard and have no respect anymore for our elders. So I'm wondering, maybe that's this nuance in my new, on this new timeline is to bring back the wisdom key or the respect for the wisdom keepers.
And they really are. Whenever I go see my grandmother, even though she's out of town, um, and so when I go back to my hometown and I see her, I make sure I at least say hi to one other person and hear the stories from their families,
Mhm.
um, and and just watch their family member, um, and they'll nod or they'll go like this and they find a way to communicate, or they'll go like this or something, and the family members are like, oh, wait, okay, we meant this. I'm glad some family members are able to translate appropriately versus translating through their own ego.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Isn't that frustrating?
And yeah, the frustration of an adult child is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are
Hmm.
definitely in the right place. Actually, they just showed me an image of you in a wheelchair, and you're like doing the wheelchair dancing or something, kind of like leading an exercise program. So I don't know if you do that now,
They
but
won't
there,
let me, but I could see myself wanting to.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I would keep asking. I would keep petitioning to be able to do a program for the elderly like that. I know they have all their other programs, but this is something that you keep pushing on. And it's not because just about getting their bodies moving. I feel like you have a very witty personality. And so getting their bodies moving while they smile is very healing and actually helps them process some of the karma that is left over before they transition.
Oh,
And so that's super
yep.
important because a lot of them are maybe consciously worried, but most of them subconsciously know, and their soul's like, okay, let's finish processing so that when you
Oh my
transition,
God. I
you,
love that.
yeah,
I've had
yeah,
a couple people recommend because I'm a medium too. And so
yeah.
I've had people recommend that I work as like a death doula. But what you're talking about is something is a little different. It's
Mhm.
helping them get rid of that density so the transition is smoother.
Yeah. So,
That's
instead of a death doula, I would suggest maybe transitioning that into the Reiki, the death
uh-huh.
and dying Reiki, because that is something that can be done over time. Just the death and dying doula. I don't know a lot about it, but it feels like it's more like right at the transition, right? Whereas
Yeah.
Reiki is something that has
This
time that
I
can be used.
love it.
Yeah.
That's
And
really cool.
and even if they don't know what Reiki is, you can still ask for consent. Or if they're nonverbal, you can still ask their higher self for consent. And I guarantee you, every single one of them is going to say yes.
Hmm.
every
my,
single one.
my intention too is being there. I will be Reiki, without even that idea of giving it. Um, we are it. So very
I
interesting.
I fully agree with you, and my heart just went, and my eyes are starting to water. I'm like, don't cry.
Just like be that energy that they don't have in their
Mhm.
life.
Yeah, yeah, and in its own way, that's showing respect too.
Absolutely.
Um,
Look,
yeah.
there was this man, I was there Saturday, and I was the only one there because there aren't any residents yet. And this man called and he said, I want to come see my new home. Is there someone there who can let me in? And I said, well,
Um,
she already left for the day, but she did say if there's a call, I could reach out to her. I said, let me call her and see because I understand. So then he said, I am scheduled to be there Monday with my daughter, but I'm just so excited. I wanted to come in today. It was Saturday to Monday. So I called her. She never called back. So I called
uh,
him and I said, I know that you're so excited. I'm excited for you too, but she didn't call back. Um, and it's just 2 more days.
right? Just
It's
patience, patience.
so sweet. So my thing here, and I'm sure it's just one of my lessons, the boss is so stressed and so anxious, and I the way my body reads energy, I'm trying to shift this, is I get migraines
Okay.
from that being the empath that I am. And so last Friday, I just had one the entire day. As soon as she left, it was gone. And
Hmm.
I have done, I mean, I'm talking 20 years I've been doing this shit. I've used every tool I
Hmm.
know. And I know this is one of the lessons there, how to keep
Mm.
her energy from, I can observe it. Okay, I see what's going on, but you keep yours and I'm going to be
Uh,
here. And I have yet to be able to successfully um keep her energy out of my energy field. And I know
I'll show you some.
there's access consciousness, return to sender, or my friend reminded me there's a thing where we let the energy come through us and then through the person rather than absorbing it. I don't
Uh-huh.
know, I've tried fucking everything.
That's funny. I have a card to show you that I was just given an image of. Hold on, let me find it. It's one of the major arcana cards I have. Here it is. Um, so let me I don't know if you can see that. Do you see how there's a box around her head?
It looks like an ice cube. Yeah.
Yeah. And how she's praying kind of has this, even though the higher font is really that higher self or the introspective, she's really in an introspective state, um, and feels like she's boxed in. She hates her job. She doesn't actually want to be there. Um, but that's part of her lesson is saying no.
She has no
Um,
boundaries.
she doesn't have boundaries. Um, and you're picking up on that energetically, and that like the box, because she's got too much going on in her head, she's pushing it outwards. So when other people are working there, see what they have to say. If they're saying, oh, I'm kind of feeling a lot of tension going on,
we
or
we had 2 people quit last week and the residents haven't even moved in yet.
mhm. And that's because she's a huge projector. So having that sense of I am Reiki, whenever you are in her sphere, make sure that Reiki bubble just kind of expands and have her step inside of it, and see if that helps. Um, I don't really feel like the headaches are going to stop until she finds her own shift. Um, so I'm asking if there's anything to do on your side that can help besides having her step inside that Reiki bubble. because we can't help when someone projects their own stuff on
Yeah.
us, especially as empaths. Like, I understand what you mean. I've only been doing this about half as long as you have, and I still experience it. I can feel around certain people like tension in my body, and I'll notice my hands grip
Hmm.
up, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I have to remind myself to release.
My toes do that.
Ah, yeah. So when you're releasing, make sure you always release downwards to feed those seeds. Always downwards. You know, and then let the light come in from above to help push things downwards. That might help, might make your body a little uncomfortable for a moment until it's all pushed down into the ground and you're feeding your own seeds. And when you're doing that, you're nourishing your seeds with an intention you have at that moment. Like I'm um, I'm letting go of other people's stuff. And when those seeds bloom, that gives the sense of telling people that you don't have to carry other people's stuff, you know. Um, and that's an example of how an intention will manifest later on. I'm still asking about the headaches here, seeing where they're taking me. They're taking me somewhere else along your path.
Yeah, I've had them 35 years.
Hmm. And have you've spoken to a doctor about them yet?
Their only answer are is all the pharmaceuticals in my body
Even a
doesn't.
naturopath?
The naturopath, my latest one, thinks it's my biome, my gut. So she gave me a probiotic.
Okay. Yeah, digestive enzymes help, and then also pure aloe
I I've
extract.
I've tried aloe. Yeah.
Oh God, it's like the pure extract is so gross tasting,
Mm,
but it's helpful.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, those are things you can do to help at least the gut biome.
Uh-huh.
Um, but you are definitely on point that the migraines are related to other people's stuff.
Energetic. Mhm.
They are very energetic, is what I'm hearing. I'm seeing you just kind of stopped on your path and just sitting on a boulder at those times. So um, they're kind of talking to me in light language. So give me a second how to translate that.
Okay.
I think that's a point that I need to learn is light language. Okay. Um, I see a sense of you jumping off the boulder and just turning your back. Just kind of like that sense of, oh my God, I'm stuck in a corner. So turning your back and definitely have this image, even if you're talking to her and you have no choice of interacting with her at that time, imagine your energy body just shifting and having your back to her. And they're saying just start there. See if that's gonna shift anything or help the headaches. Um, but yeah, it's one of those challenges that
My back is my bull side.
okay, okay, so that's where the lesson's at is solidifying that. I'm hearing your spine first, energetically, like I'm growing a spine kind of
Yeah.
feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so definitely energetically work on that. So that must be the lesson there
That's
is
interesting.
is taking care of that vulnerable space.
Because that, so the I had cancer and it was my back heart chakra. And ever since then, all the different tools I've learned to expand out and be the big bubble of light, there was always this, it doesn't go past my back. Like I can't It does now, but I've
Uh-huh.
always struggled and I've worked on that's where like my front looks great. Like
Hmm.
the chakras and I'm all light and the smile. And then sometimes if a healer turns around, they're like, "Oh, you're back. This is where everything is," because you can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. But the
So
thing
it's
is,
cool.
you actually can't. You can actually see your own back because the fact is, you already recognize the back of your chakra. Um,
My husband found
oh
that.
God.
My
Uh,
husband found it.
yeah, I see. Um, I just saw like, so I think they're doing a little bit of a healing on you
Oh,
right
good.
now. I saw Archangel Oriole. She's got this rag and sprayer, and she's like
That's really cute.
for all of your chakras. And
Tell
and
her
right
it
up
needs to be organic.
very organic, yes. And you can always call on Oriole to help with kind of that cleaning up of the back chakras. And then for you, your lesson is to learn how to magnify the energy in your back. Um, Even if you have to stand in front of a mirror, two mirrors, and practice that way to see your own back energy.
I like
Um,
that.
and then that whole concept of growing a spine. Not saying you're not brave or anything like
No, I've
that.
always
It's
had
more about
problem.
stability.
Yeah, I've always had problems with bosses. And yeah,
Yeah,
always. So I knew going into this, she's going to be like, my lesson in how I finally stand up for myself with a
yeah,
boss with authority.
yeah. Well, I guess that's it. At least that's the start of it. That's plan A, and here are the sub things. And then going on whether you get more readings to find out what plan B and plan C is, or as you're learning about your back energy, your automatic blueprint of strategy will start building that for you. So
Cool.
so that's that. Okay. I need a quick drink here. Smiling so much is it's kind of making my throat dry a little, which is not a bad thing. All right, I'm seeing where else we are going. I am seeing you like in this castle, sitting on this beautiful ornate chair, looking out these rose glassed paned windows. Um, it's almost like you're not royalty, but definitely a person of the court in that time period. I'm hearing France around 1500s. Um, and in that time period, you're like kind of this unofficial advisor to the queen. And you've heard that before, haven't you?
No,
No?
but as you're talking about it, I get the stories rolling in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and I'm asking why they're
Yeah.
bringing up this life. Like, what what's so important about the scene of you just looking out the the rose-colored pane? So I think that rose color is very important in this scene here. It's not just about illusion. I don't feel like, like rose-colored glasses, I don't feel like it's an illusionary thing. This is more of an energetic thing. So now what I'm seeing is your soul pushing this light language structures. I don't think that's the right word, but that's kind of what I'm hearing. Um, and your soul is saying it's already written around your soul. this this light language. And so what it's doing is pushing out. So your energetic boundaries are here, it's like the egg you stand in. You're getting a lot of healing today. So this is like these pink forms being put on the outside of your egg. And if you can just kind of give yourself a moment to see, the pink figures all through this, your energetic sphere. What I'm feeling is that is a sense of your own personal protection, that your soul and higher self have already planned on giving you in this lifetime, is the awareness that is there and the implanting it into that energetic field, as well as communication, support, and compassion for a lot of different type of people. And the reason they're bringing it up is because when you were that unofficial advisor of the queen, that was not your choice. She just took a liking to you and said, okay, let me tell you my problems and you're going to help me fix it, kind of feeling. And being able to have introspective time in the 1500s was very special to you. And because you had that introspective time, the universe co-created with you to bring that pink colored glass and turn it into your protective sphere. Um, wow, that feels really high tech.
Absolutely. That's not Atlantean.
No, no, this is like a universal thing. This is
Yeah.
not Atlantean. This is like you co-created with the universe because they know how old of a soul you are. They're like,
Wow.
okay, you made it through that process in that lifetime. Here's one of your blessings that your soul is going to carry with you every single time you reincarnate.
How cool.
Right?
Wow.
That is such a cool blessing. When we think of blessings, we're hoping to see it in the physical, but they're not always physical. And yeah, that is a very cool blessing. Very cool. Something that lasts through the quote unquote ages. You know what I mean? Okay. Seeing what else. Yeah, I'm seeing how that the relationship with that queen is relating to authority figures for you now. So what another healing for you. And you may want to find someone to do an official cord cutting as well and have them focus on past life stuff. Like you're like, yeah, this life, da da da, but we want to go deeper into the memory space and cut those cords. So right now, we have Archangel Michael with the sword of truth cutting the cord.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah. And that's in your back, right? Did you
It's
feel it in
like
your back?
it's the side back, but yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
and
so
then we have Raphael, the Archangel of Healing, pulling it out and kind of healing and sealing the attachment area.
hmm.
And this is helping um, cut the cord to the energy of authority figures, as well as cut the cord to that lifetime. Like it's okay. Now I've been aware of the gift you gave me, and that's all I needed for at that time. So we're cutting the cord. We're saying thank you with compassion and love for all the lessons, um, for the gifts and talents that I manifested at that time. And I release you back to your time, your dimension, and timeline, um, with love, caring, and gratitude. Okay, that's that prayer. So, yeah, do not be surprised if your boss gets a little extra testy for a little bit because that authority energy is going to try and latch back on. So don't be surprised that that happens and then it'll dissipate. Okay, I'm seeing if there's anywhere else they want to take me today. I'm I kind of feel like I need to ask about interpersonal relationships, whether there's challenges, blessings, anything in between lessons. Um, I'm seeing you sit on a park bench, and I get this a lot in a lot of people's soul records is there's a specific park bench you sit on, and that's where you invite other people, or at least their subconscious, to come in and have conversations with you. The first one I'm seeing actually not alive. This is a past um, entity, um, a female, kind of like a very sisterly energy. Um,
I've had a
is
lot
your
of I've had a lot of friends pass away in the last couple of years.
okay? And one of them was very sisterly.
They all were.
Homer. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like I'm seeing like this red hair, fiery red hair. I don't know if that was one of them, but she just likes to have that that color around her. So I don't know if one of your friends really liked the color red or had a tendency to have a red things around them.
Well, I had a friend who loved the red rocks at Sedona.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm asking what she's this is what she's saying. Um, she's saying you don't have to miss me anymore. And the reason being is because I'm already one of your spirit guides. I signed up for that. So you don't actually have to miss my physical spirit. And so anytime you want to talk to her, go to that power place. Okay. You can set out a blanket, have a picnic, you know, have a conversation with her. Um, and she is definitely one of your guides. Um, I'm asking what her gifts and talents are right now. Um, and I see her going, shh. So when I see that, that is definitely one of those like when you're questioning things and you get quiet, that's the time to reach out to her because she has some information for you. And she's also reminding you to talk to the trees as well. So between the trees and her, you'll get more of a clear answer to those questions you might have. Seeing what else she has to say. Um, she's also saying, don't forget that you're beautiful. Like sometimes you forget to look in the mirror. When you're prepping for the day, you forget to look in the mirror, and she's saying, look in the mirror. Start doing that again. And even if you don't like seeing yourself at first, keep doing it because your perception's going to change. And and she's like, you are just gorgeous, and you really are. I mean, like you have that facial structure that modeling agencies like. So, I mean, she's like, you are that beautiful. And she wants to remind you to keep looking in the mirror and seeing yourself. And if you need, open your ears and let her whisper to you to as a reminder.
You.
that that just that's a beautiful message. And I saw her tap me on my third eye before she walked away and just said thank you. She's like, thank you. So I don't know if she was a very kind of psychic person herself.
All my
Um,
friends.
Okay.
All my friends, yeah. But
Okay.
her, yeah, her definitely, she she definitely had a special gift.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's with you forever. Yeah, always been. Seeing who else is coming in, if anyone. Okay, I don't, is your grandma passed?
She's with me 24/7.
Okay, because this is what I saw. I saw like a male figure come forward, and she literally
She
stepped to the
stood,
side, pushed her over, and said, "Uh-uh."
she does that all whenever I've had readings. My stepfather will come. He's with me too everywhere. And
Uh-huh.
she's like, "Nope, I'm the grandmother." This
Yeah,
is she does that all the time.
that's funny.
That's my
Um,
grandma.
yeah, she's stepping forward, and she's so what I'm hearing is she is your teacher of boundaries. So so she's like, "Don't worry, honey, I'm gonna help you grow that spine."
Yeah.
So if you, God, she makes me laugh.
Talk about beautiful. Oh my God. My grandma was stunning, like Hollywood stunning. Ah,
So are you.
but I don't look like her. I look more like my father's side. But
Oh,
oh,
that
beautiful.
doesn't matter. The energy of that beauty is passed on to you. Um, yeah, she's saying, don't worry, honey, I got your back. Always have, always will. Um, and if you ever feel like you're not protected enough, remember she's right there.
Oh,
And she's got so much sass that she's like, "Meow."
she brings me miracles all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
And that's because she's got your back. Um, I'm seeing if she'll let your stepfather come in while we have them both here. Um, I'm feeling a lot of love and compassion coming through. He has taught you so much about compassion and letting people be who they are. Um, and I see like his heart chakra. Um, it's not green at all. It kind of looks like the upper heart chakra that is the pinkish color. So here's this pink coming in. So that like I was saying earlier, how we circle it all around. There's that protection, but also learning patience and compassion and and I'm hearing abundance too.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. And so he, what do
he
you
had
need?
he had a hard life, and when he was able to pass,
Uh,
he has just been nothing but light and smiles and just so much joy when he was able to transition from this particular incarnation. Oh,
mm, beautiful, beautiful. That's perfect. That's because internally he learned already a lot about his karmic lessons. So his next lifetime, when he chooses to go again, because we all have the choice of if we want to stay or if not, we really do have that choice. It's not about ascension, and once you ascend to this level, then you
yeah.
never have to come back. That doesn't feel like that's an actual universal law. Um, there is some truth to that belief system, but he's saying the it's not like we transition and then go back. Um, I am not sure why he's bringing that up. Maybe you've had a question about it, or there will be a question when you're interacting with the older population
And my,
about,
yeah. And my mom is 90. She's 90 on Friday. And
wow.
I can't be there. And we thought she was close to transition for the last 4 years. So
Yeah,
anyway, I didn't mean to
she's
interrupt you.
no, it's okay. She's a stubborn, tough bird, isn't she?
Oh my God.
And
My grandmother just shakes her head like, that's my daughter.
that's funny. Yes, yes. Um, your stepfather is asking if I don't know if your mom would receive this or how she'd feel about it, but he's asking you to send a birthday card or an Easter card or some sort of card to her in his name.
Oh
Um,
my.
so I'm not sure how well she'll receive it, or you know,
Huh.
I'll leave the discernment up to you, but he's saying he watches over her all the time because of
Yeah.
the amount of love he has. Even if there was times she pushed him away,
Just
she
horrible relationship. Horrible.
yeah, he was like, it doesn't matter the heart
Yeah.
what it wants, um
She sees
and
him. She sees everybody. They're
yeah.
there with her. She sees them.
Okay, so she will accept the card
So
then.
she understands. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah, do that. And he said when she does transition, they'll be able to have the conversation around why their relationship was the way it was. Um, because when we transition, there's always this like you kind of move into a space called the Hall of Recollection.
Uh-huh.
And that's where you stay for a while to kind of go through your own Akashic records and see what you completed, see what needs to happen another time, and reconcile the actual feelings and things you did to yourself and others.
Make amends. Yeah.
Make amends.
Yeah.
Um, and so he wants you to know that that won't be an issue after she passes if you've ever kind of
Yeah.
had that thought. Because
No,
he's
she does. She has that thought.
Oh, she's worried about it. Okay.
Yes, she feels very guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let her know if you can, if you can find a way to put it into a conversation that
Uh-huh.
um, start forgiving yourself now because on the other side, that he loves you anyway. The forgiveness has already been done. So it's
Yeah.
time to do that for yourself. Um, I see them both bowing and saying thank you and moving along. Um, and you walking up. I feel like this is kind of the close of the reading. And I'm kind of climbing back up on that cloud. And I'm asking if there's any higher perspective messages before we head towards your door, especially around your healing work. Um, I'm hearing as the eagle flies. So the eagle represents, oh, what does that mean? You
I
just
see
laughed.
there's one that lives here near me. I see one every day.
Okay. Okay. When you see that, see if you can project yourself into the eagle. Obviously ask if it's okay to merge for a time being, and merge with that eagle as it's flying around and see through its eyes. And it's kind of like this recognition of seeing how small humanity actually is, and we are a miracle because we're on this big old blue ball flying through this empty vacuum of space where who knows what else can go wrong kind of feeling. And so there's a sense of like seeing that higher perspective of that problems are not as big as we feel they are. Like our emotions are so big because when we get triggered, our chemical reaction in our head happens and it flows through our whole body. And we think that our emotions are it when it's really just chemicals moving through our body. Right. And then we feel it and put a name to it. Um, and so there's a sense of reminding your clients that that's what
Yes.
emotions are.
That's what I was just gonna say. I know that, and that's what I try to teach my clients who make everything a big deal. And I've learned to
Y-
just it's energy, let it move.
Yeah, yeah, it's just energy. It's just chemicals, you
Yep.
know? I mean, if you feel like it's too much, drink ice water. Ice water is the fastest way to calm the nervous system. Which seems weird, but it is. I'm an epileptic, and so I know that for a fact.
Oh my
That,
goodness.
that ice water will calm the nervous system pretty quick, and then also remind them about the sphere that you're not backed into a corner. All you have to do is just turn around, go the other way. Um,
That's beautiful. What a beautiful lesson.
yeah, isn't it?
Boy, there's a whole book here I could write.
That's perfect. Why not? Do it. Um, yeah, I think that's like, they're like, basically, we don't have to give you some big message. This is about keeping it simple,
Yeah.
and reminding people to keep it simple and just do simple things like drinking a glass of ice water, um, remembering that you really aren't backed into a corner. And that is actually going to help a lot of people. Um, Interesting because it makes sense and it's simple. Mm, I like it.
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
know.
Perfect. Oh, Jamie, this has been life changing.
Oh my gosh, really?
We make so little of what we do. Yes, it's the guides we're listening to. You're the highest self, the grandmother, the father. It's you saying yes to this job. You're allowing your vessel, your sacred vessel, to be borrowed by them to deliver these messages. That's huge.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was